Hello everybody, good morning and welcome to the 7th annual Women in Dairy Conference. It's a real shame we can't all meet together. I'm gutted because I'd just love to see everybody and we can't. Such a shame, but hopefully next year we'll be back on track. The ladies are so organised, they've already organised next year's date. So later on today I'll be giving you that information. So many of you coming in to join. I can see everybody on the screen popping in to join now. So thank you so much for making the time to be with us today and being part of Women in Dairy. The theme of today is the art of communication, which some people say I'm quite good at because I talk a lot. So we've got people that will be far more excellent. We've got a great lineup today. So we're going to start off in a little while with Grace O'Dwyer and Angela Trotter from HSBC. Then we'll go to Susie Stannard from AHDB. We've also got Rachel Knowles from Trink Dairy, Kath Eplin from Boehringer Ingelheim. We've also got Emily Norton from Savills and Nina von Keiselink joining us all the way from British Columbia in Canada. So some exciting ladies to listen to this morning, which I'm really looking forward to. Also, we've got to talk about the sponsors because an event like this just would not be possible without that support from those people. Especially we want to thank HSBC, who's our main conference and award sponsor. Also Boehringer Ingelheim on National Women in Dairy sponsor, and the conference sponsors Dalton Tags, KW, Lely, Remitech and Vet Partners. So thank you to those companies for all their support. We really appreciate it at Women in Dairy. We'll also be announcing the winner, which I've got to hand over my crown and I'm really gutted, but I'm really pleased that it's going to go to a very deserving young lady. That we'll do that sort of around lunchtime, just after lunchtime. But it's been really, really difficult. And I know every time you do a competition or you interview people, everybody says, oh, it's so hard. And the lineup this year was so difficult, but it really, really was. We interviewed some amazing, passionate young ladies, and it really did give Angela and Kath and I a run for our money to choose that worthy winner of my crown. I'm gutted, but I'm also excited for you. So before I hand over to the first speakers, I've just got to do the little housekeeping bit. I'm going to have to read this out of my notes because there's a little bit to go through. So each session will start on the hour with a short break in between. And you should have all now, hopefully, received a copy of the handout. So you'll have had that either by post or on email. So that will give you all the details about each session. The speakers, the sponsors and the award finalists. You'll also find details about local Women in Dairy groups in the handout and on the website. The other couple of things is please send any questions during the conference via a chat box that we've got, and we'll answer them sort of at the end. If you use Twitter, please remember use hashtag WIDConf21. Really important that we put that on. And we're going to do something for sort of at the end of the sessions. We're going to do like a little prize for the best tweets. So we've got like a bundle of goodies from the Women in Dairy Advisory Group, including an annual Women in Dairy membership and lots of other goodies. So you'll be contacted on Twitter to claim your prize, but make sure you're watching at the end of the session to get that prize. So we're coming up now, we've just gone over 9:40, so I've gone a little 2 minutes over. So what I'm going to do is introduce our first session. It's today from HSBC UK, our conference and award sponsor, and it's an opening conversation, reflections on 2021. So I'm going to introduce Grace O'Dwyer. Grace joined HSBC in 2017 to work within a well-established agricultural team and across the UK. She leads the HSBC activities in the agricultural sector in the south of England. And then also we're joined by Angela, who was also with me when we interviewed for the Women in Dairy Award this year. And Angela is an agricultural banking manager based in Devon, and her clients are predominantly all dairy farmer businesses. So I'd like to hand over to Grace and Angela. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you, Karen, and thank you for opening the conference for us. Yes, we did I had the privilege last year of having this slot, and we did it as a conversation and got some really good feedback. So we thought we'd do something similar today. I've been with HSBC now for 5 years as one of their regional agriculture directors, and I work across a team in the south, but also with our national team where we've got about 90 agriculture relationship managers focused on agriculture businesses, and that's a great place to be. It is our privilege and pleasure to open this event, which I think has some really significant themes. And HSBC has stood alongside agriculture and the dairy sector through many good times and challenging times. But time and time again, communication between us has helped us help you and help the sectors. And really, whether it's reflecting or looking forward, the importance of communicating with our customers, working together as teams, and the challenges that big topics like sustainability and animal welfare give us, that the dairy sector continues to rise to, really resonate very strongly with us all. And what I'd like to do now is just to hand over to Angela to allow her to introduce herself.
Thank you ever so much, Grace. Good morning, everyone. Yes, I'm Angela Trotter, Agriculture Manager with HSBC and based in Devon. And as you've been advised, I work in the agriculture department, and most of my customers are dairy farmers. I've worked for the bank for 42 years, and I've been working in agriculture since 1994. And I really enjoy working with the farming sector, and I'm very passionate about dairy farming. I'm delighted to be attending today this very important Women in Dairy conference. So thank you ever so much.
Thank you, Angela. And I think one of the things I would also say is your passion for the sector and your drive to help your customers always comes through so strongly when we have conversations. And what we'd really like to do is share a few of our reflections on the last 12 months and tee up why we sort of agree so strongly with the themes of today. Now, Angela, I know you and I have not managed to meet in person for almost 2 years, which feels really strange. We've used the laptop to sort of communicate. But honestly, when you reflect on the sort of strange times we've been through in the last 12 months or so, what sits sort of front of your mind?
Well, Grace, in all honesty, I found lockdown really, really hard. Prior to the COVID restrictions being put in place, I spent a huge amount of my time visiting customers at their farms, meeting with them, seeing all the things they were doing. I was also meeting up with my colleagues in the bank, attending events, attending seminars. Suddenly, overnight, that all stopped, and I found myself at home working from the back bedroom. And I have to say, there were days I felt as though I was crawling up the walls. But my customers were a great support to me. And I have to say, though, how amazing the agriculture sector reacted to the situation. They were just totally unfazed. It was all business as usual. Huge resilience. Food carried on being produced and delivered to the shops. Milk and dairy products were always on the shelves. I feel that it suddenly made the general public a little bit more aware of where their food comes from and how dependent we are upon its production. After all, we all saw the mass panic buying that was going on in the early days of lockdown. So I just hope that that understanding remains with people for a very long time.
Yes, I couldn't agree more there, Angela. I think the awareness of supply chains, both in terms of sort of their fragility and their robustness, is definitely in the consciousness of all of us now. And I think we're also all changing and adapting in how we communicate and connect with our customers. We're seeing it as a bank, both with our colleagues and our teammates, as you mentioned, Angela. We've had to change quite a lot in what we do. I mean, personally, I'm delighted to be out and about again. So to say, I broke out as soon as I saw a chink in that door, to get that sort of energy from going on to farms and talking to customers. But we are doing a little bit of a blend of both worlds, and this conference is a great example of that. Angela, as somebody who spent decades, as you've admitted to, being out on farm and communicating with your customers in the traditional way, how have you found that that changeover, and how has it impacted your conversations with your customers using technology?
Well, I suppose, Grace, 18 months ago, I didn't actually know what Zoom was. And I would imagine that it's probably true of a lot of people listening today. But we embraced it. It's not the same, but it did mean that we could still see each other, and I could still see my customers and have meetings. However, I did get rather off-put by looking at myself on the screen all the time. I find that quite disconcerting. But we had some laughs on the way. It's one of those situations where either sometimes none of you speak or you all speak at the same time. So you definitely lose that sort of personal contact and body language. So it is really good that I'm now back out again and I'm able to meet my customers and go out on farms.
Yeah, and I know we're looking forward to seeing each other at some events in the coming weeks, so that will be really good. I think one of the other pieces that that we rely on very heavily and we focus on very much as a bank is the team and the people on farm, the people that sort of make the business tick, those leading and working in the business. And as you say, those are the people that we connect with. But you've had a significant career, Angela, across banking and agriculture, and you must have some really sort of clear ideas as to the sort of characteristics you look for in a farming business. I mean, in particular, the people that are within those businesses. So could you share some of your thoughts on that?
Oh, it's foremost the people that we lend to and support. And it's so very important in all respects. Yes, of course, we need to understand the business. We want to see the financial information. We want to see the accounts, the budgets, the cash flows to support any requests we receive. But as much as we assess the financial information, we also assess the people behind the business. Running a dairy farm, or any farm for that matter, is not easy. In addition to the livestock management skills, you have to manage your people as your employees. You have to work with your bank manager, your accountant, your consultant, your vet, etc., etc. It's a long skill set that is required. And as we all know, it's not just about the price you are paid for the milk. It is about so much more. Managing your inputs and efficiencies, health and finances. Let's just say a dairy farm does not run itself. It needs a very strong team behind it.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that we really do focus on, is understanding that team. And as you say, whether it's the financials or the technical side, it's the team that makes it happen. It's the people within the business. And I think we've never been in a world potentially with so much change and uncertainty as we look forward. It would be a very brave person that would describe exactly what agriculture is going to look like in 10 years' time in any kind of detail. And we're very conscious as a bank that we have some big challenges in terms of ourselves internally, looking at what sustainability means to us and how we evolve into the sort of the new world of net zero, etc. But also working with our customers as they find their way through it. We've got different ways that we do that at the moment, providing information, asking questions. We've run a series of podcasts where we've actually had some really good information shared by some of our own customers, and some of our traditional publications like Taking the Pulse. We've highlighted and spotlighted the environment and other challenges, because I really do think that conversations are so important. It's one of the reasons we sort of use this format when we're asked to open the conference. And I really do see conversations evolving. I've been in agriculture for 30 years, and I started in crop protection a long time ago, but looking at whichever sector, the conversations have definitely moved forward. There are some themes going forward, but it will be the next generation that hold our businesses and take them forward. So understanding who's leading those businesses now and who's coming up through the farming family or farming business is a really good opportunity for us to start those conversations and be part of them and understand where we can help. And I know not everything is clear, but I do also know, Angela, that you've had some very clear examples on some farming businesses where they are taking these challenges and making changes. So I wondered if you wanted to maybe give us some examples of what you've seen on farm.
Oh yes, there's definitely been a change. I mean, looking back to when I first started working in agriculture and working with dairy farms, I think the focus was on land. Were there enough acres for grazing and forage production? Have we got enough land to support the business now, and have we got enough land to potentially grow the business going forward? But conversations today have definitely changed. Land and feed production is still very important, of course it is, but additional forage and standing crops can be purchased. Conversations have moved more to slurry storage and management and herd housing. And recently I've had many conversations, obviously a lot of them over Zoom in the last 18 months, but that hasn't stopped us. We've still carried on assisting our dairy farmers with their expansions and with the installation of new slurry systems. And that's, I would say, probably been one of the most important things that I've been doing recently.
That's very much front of mind, I would agree. But you make a really good point there, Angela, in terms of it has been business as usual for agriculture. It has been business as usual for ourselves. At HSBC, we might have been connecting and communicating in a slightly different way. And some of the topics that we're discussing in terms of future investment for farms are evolving. But we are still very involved in the sector and very keen to support our customers and others where they feel that we can. And really, as I said at the beginning, all of the themes and content today are so pertinent. And as I was preparing for this conversation, I sort of thought, well, they resonate with me in terms of my business life. They resonate with me as a human and as a person, and they also resonate with me as a mother looking at the next generation and succession and where the world is going. And I'm really looking forward to participating through the day, and I hope you are too, Angela. And everybody.
Very much so. Thank you, Grace. Yes.
Thank you. So, Karen, that's really sort of our opening reflections. So I'm very happy to pass back to you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Grace and Angela. That was brilliant. And I think listening to you ladies, you know, okay, the communication was tough, wasn't it, through lockdown, but even albeit from your back bedroom, Angela, you still managed to communicate and support those farmers, and that's really special, really special. The other thing I kind of took from your talks there was, you know, customers really come first with you, and for HSBC to be supporting our industry as much as you are and taking care of us like that, you know, that feels really good. We've got to change with what's coming down the track, and to know that a bank like yourselves is going to be supporting businesses like ours to overcome these challenges, you know, yeah, that's what we need. So thank you, ladies, and thank you for your input today.
Thank you, Karen. Thanks
for having us, Karen. It's lovely.
You're welcome.